everybody, welcome to the, what is it, April 20th now? April 20th, April 21st episode of the Nat Daddy Weekly Roundup, where we cover this week's new books and review a handful of them, which I think were interesting and worth for you checking out. Well, let's jump right into it. First off, let's thank the people that make this possible. Of course, there's me in that, but we have 204 Comics. If you're in the Winnipeg area, make this your LCS. It is a great store. Bobby and Ashley are terrific. Yeah, they do their best to make sure you get what you want. We like them because Nat Daddy likes to promote, especially indie comics, and they bring a lot in there. So definitely check them out. They are online, and they have a great pull system, so definitely use that. FOC this week is for May 10th and May 17th and for May 24th. So if you don't want to miss out on the hot books of the week and scrambling around to get those new copies that are short because nobody's ordered them in advance, do use that pull system with them. Also, we got Primo's Wrestling. They got the live wrestling events. We work quite a bit there with these guys. Just spent all last weekend with them touring Manitoba. 3 cities, 3 days. Yeah, gonna see more of that on the wrestling show. Do check that out. It'll be coming up later today. And we have an event coming up on the 21st as well. So do, like I said, check out the wrestling show later today. But this is the comic show, so let's jump right into it. Yeah, I say before we jump into the actual reviewing of the books and we look at the covers of the week, how about we show some of our books in that. So again, we have let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of our own exclusives out right now. Swamp Dogs, Calculated Man, Chicken Devil, and Chicken Devils. Chicken Devils has that amazing homage cover there to the Punisher, and we got the Spectro Prestige size in regular and in the Virgin there. So definitely check those out. All great books, all by great artists, and we will soon be announcing our new cover for a new book as well too. So stay tuned for that as well. But enough with that. Let's get into some real books for the new ones of this week. A bit of a smaller week for books, not quality-wise, but quantity-wise, but still easy to pick out what I think are the best covers of the week. Again, this is presented from 204 Comics. They have that Chip Zdarsky signing coming up in May, so if you are in the Winnipeg area, do come check that out. This week's covers of the week are, on the very, very right, you have this is cover B from The Cult of That Wilkin Boy. We'll be covering this later on in the show. Another horror one-shot using Archie characters. This one here, I like that. That's a pretty looking cover. Then we go all the way over to the extreme left. We got the first one there. We got another one of these Alex Ross Timeless The Villains covers. I've been loving all of these ones here. So we have the Vulture one, and we have the Sandman one. A few other ones this week. I think there's about 4 or 5 usually every week. These ones were my 2 favorites as well. And the one remaining one in the middle there is the issue number 1 of the new series called The Mighty Barbarians. This is one of their B covers. It is an homage to a very, very famous cover. If anyone can tell me, or the first person you can tell me who yeah, that's what I think we'll do. The first person who can tell me in the comments below on Facebook, and then also the first person who can tell me on YouTube will get a copy of this Dancing with Woody, a original graphic novel from our friend David Howell. He will be having copies available at this weekend's wrestling event. So anyone who wants a copy to win this, let me know in the comments below. First person on Facebook and also the first person on YouTube. Let me know what this Mighty Barbarians cover is an homage of, and you will win that. Awesome. Alright, let's get on to our books. First book of the week is from Image Comics. We have Terror War from Ahmad and Acosta. Ahmed there is one of the creative team from the Miles Morales series, so great writer there as well too. And Acosta's been putting out some pretty awesome horror art lately as well too. So we got this future world. They refer to it as the Blue City. It's kind of like this domed-in world where everyone has to live now because the rest of the world is kind of uninhabitable. And inside this now, this world is kind of crawling with these. I don't know if they're monsters or aliens or ghosts, but these creatures that kind of go around just kind of kill off. Seems like it's mostly the homeless and the people who are kind of unable to protect themselves, starting off wise, but they're going to start working their way up the food chain and that. But these monsters seem to take the shape of people's greatest fears. So kind of like Gauser did in Ghostbusters when they took the shape of the Marshmallow Man. So these creatures, when they're nearby, take the shape of somebody's greatest fear that happens to be around too, and they go on these slaughtering, kind of killing sprees. Um, they have these contracted monster teams out there. They go in, kind of deal with these creatures and that. So that's them there as well too. Neat book so far. Awesome art. A little tongue in cheek as well, but pretty creepy. So definitely a fun one to check out. Next on our list, from Sumerian, we have Soko, and this is from Miskovich, Ekstrom, and Fuso on the art here. You get a couple Siberian cops make a routine traffic bust, and it opens up this whole world of corruption and betrayal in the force. And this book is full of lots of action. So, like I said, we got these two cops in Siberia. They're just doing their random traffic check, a customs check. They believe they found someone that's smuggling gasoline and oil out of the port, and it turns up into being something more of that. And we end up finding there's more of a mob connection to that too. So pretty intense and lots of action. Definitely reminds me of 80s type of action flick. So pretty cool so far. And some neat art too. The art is kind of like what you see on the cover there. So not your typical cartoony comic book type of art. So again, another one to definitely check out. Our first of the Archie books for this episode, we have from the Archie horror series. We have Cult of That Wilkin Boy, written by Colin Bunn. This is a horror one-shot. It's kind of deep and dark and disturbing about Bingo Wilkins, kind of a lesser-known Archie character. Again, one of the teenager with a musical kind of background, and apparently he has sold his soul to this demon to be like this superstar and this icon for the last 7 years, and now this demon has come back to claim his due, claim back his soul. But Bingo Wilkin is so popular that, like I said, his fans and that have come like this cult and almost do anything for him. So it almost seems like he's kind of possessed them in a supernatural way as well too. So pretty creepy. Very much what you expect from Cullen Bunn in that. This is definitely not for kids. So definitely, if you're an Archie fan and want to read something with your kids, this is not the Archie book for you. What Archie book is for you and for the kids, and that is these digest ones here. So we got Betty and Veronica Jumbo Comics 313, and then we get the World of Betty and Veronica Jumbo Comics digest number 24. Like I mentioned last week, for the last couple of weeks now, every new issue of these digest books has two new stories in them, a few pages each, all either introducing or reintroducing these Archie superhero characters in that here. So here we got the Web in here, and we also have the Crusaders also as well. They got that new Pow Girl. They got the Fox in here as well too. I believe with the Pow Girl, they have the origin of her. So it's really neat to see them keep building on those Archie superhero characters that I had mentioned earlier in that. Also, what also came out this week as well was this collection of Archie books that they've been doing for the last few years now, these Archie decade books. So we got 200 pages plus here of Archie stories from the 60s, which was pretty much, I would say, his strongest decade that kind of cemented his legacy in the world of comics. All right. Back to something a little bit more mature and adult and scary is from Dark Horse Comics. We have All Eight Eyes. This is from Fox and Kowalski on the art. Really enjoyed the art in here. As you can see on the cover there, very, very fine, scratchy detail lines, lots of ink work in that, so I'm a huge fan of that already. This is about this homeless drifter guy and his dog who have been killing these giant spiders that kind of hunt humans at nighttime in New York City. Again, they kind of hunt down homeless people or people just out in that. Yeah, and these giant spiders, they don't know where they've come from. They just kind of seem to be, growing out of weird places out of the earth and that. And they're huge, and we don't know again if they're just top of the food chain or if they're magical or aliens or what. But this guy's been hunting them for a decade now, and this one kid stumbles across him killing one night, and now he it kind of seems like he's gonna get involved with him doing this as well because he has nothing better to do. He's kind of like a homeless kid, so. Great story so far. Lots of horror stuff this week, which I'm always a fan of. Not horror in the sense like slasher stuff like Maniac in New York, which I like as well too. But horror in the sense like these monster stories and that, or these giant threats and that. So that's kind of cool. Next, from Ablaze, we have the Mighty Barbarians. And this is from Mareki and Cafaro doing the art here. Mareki is the creator of Barbaric, which was a great barbarian series from earlier. Well, we've had two volumes now, and just covered the last issue a couple weeks ago. What we have here, so I guess he really is a fan of barbarian stuff because here he's doing another story of it. So now we have the sorceress Morgan Le Fay. She's kind of trying to fight off this magical, I guess, infestation of monsters or zombies, or whatever you want to call them. It's kind of taken over all these multiple worlds, and she's taken some of the magic from these creatures and now is able to kind of transport to different worlds to gather all these different lone warriors and that, and these different, not necessarily heroes, but these different warriors, or I guess heroes in the long run, with different powers and that to fight this army and that. So she gathers them all together, and just in time too, because they need them now. The army, this dead army, is attacking. So lots of fun, lots of tongue-in-cheek adult humor, just like Barbaric was. And again, another book I definitely recommend checking out. Artwork is pretty awesome in it as well too. Again, something for the adults and not for kids. We have Larry Todd's Dr. Atomic, the Pipe and Dope book. This is a facsimile of a book that came out in the 70s. It's kind of an underground instructional information guide to everything weed and smoking weed related. Even things on how to teach you how to grow properly and that. So kind of seems silly in the sense that it's cartoon or kind of how-to instruction booklet, but it's actually very, very informative. As I was reading it, I was quite surprised like how scientific and how it's quite the instructional guide for anything you've ever wanted to know about weed, the different types of weed, or how to grow weed, or how to smoke it, and all the different types of paraphernalia for that. So definitely a neat book, black and white underground style, and like I said, very, very informative. Next, from Keen Spot, we got Kid Slapshot versus Zamboni, and this is the next volume of stories from Kid Slapshot. We've covered this before. I'm very surprised that this has had a sequel, not in the sense that it was didn't deserve one or anything like that, but it was just so silly, and I kind of just didn't think it was going to catch on. I thought it was going to be kind of one and done type of thing, but it actually has caught on, this character. This is one of those properties from Keen Spot that's been actually optioned, so we could see this becoming into a cartoon or film service of some point later on, so that's pretty awesome. But again, this is very, very funny, can be viewed for all ages, does have a little bit of mature humor in it, but it's just another fun story of Kid Slapshot and his kind of pickled zombie head there, who's kind of his conscience and his sidekick at the same time, who goes against this giant zombified moose there. So again, just lots of fun. A little bit of grossness in there too, some kind of gross out humor. So, but again, good for all ages. All right. Now we start jumping on to books from the big two. We'll start off with some DC books here. We have Silent Tales, and this is from Gustavo Durante, and he does the writing and the art on here, but there is no word bubbles in this. So this is a silent book, kind of almost like a silent movie type of thing. So everything in here is just described by pictures. A little bit of like kind of hieroglyphic stuff, some word bubbles, but very, very, very limo. You got 6 fast, simple, silent stories. Again, with great cartoon art there, so you can kind of see the art in the cover there. Very, very sharp, very awesome, very cartoon-like, but at the same time, not kid-like. So again, these are stories that can be read for all ages. They have stories with, there's a Harley one in there, a Joker one, a Lobo one, Cyborg, and I forget who else. But again, very, very enjoyable. Yeah, I liked it a lot. It is only a one shot, and I hope there is some more of these. But I think they will be because it is. I think a lot of people will like this, and it'll get picked up. All right. On the way to 800, we have Wonder Woman issue 798 from DC. We have Wonder Woman becoming the new god Shazam. Mary Marvel gives up her powers in here to Wonder Woman to become this god Shazam, and again, because all these kind of Earth gods are kind of fighting this war. Fallout from Lazara's planet, where all the old gods are kind of fed up with the way the new gods or like these Earth gods are kind of been, kind of letting people not worship them anymore. So again, more of that fallout, these War of the Gods, and like I said, Wonder Woman becomes this new god, and rewarded for that, the Amazons give Mary these Amazonian kind of weapons, so she gets these like these Achilles boots, like so she can fly and that, and she also has these gauntlets like Wonder Woman would wear to fight in battle too. So she still has these not Shazam powers, but she's still able to be a superhero, this kind of Amazonian warrior, and seems like she's going to be like a sidekick with Wonder Woman for the next little bit. So neat twist on the whole Mary Marvel, Shazam character, and to see Wonder Woman as this Shazam character is pretty awesome too. So have to keep following that as well as she gets to issue 800. Another book that I've been following, all 3 issues so far, I've been pretty surprised because I'm not the hugest of fans, is Superman, the new series by Williamson and Jamal Campbell on the art there. Yeah, I've enjoyed all 3 issues so far. We got this this kind of whole infestation of the parasite, where he's been able to, his body can kind of break apart and spread all over Metropolis and gain drain people's energy that way. So Superman has decided and forced to take up Lex Luthor's offer to kind of work together to better the world and Metropolis, and part of the Super Core team, and they do team up and to get rid of the threat of Parasite in that, and we'll see how it goes from there. These new villains that kind of seem to be from the past. Lex Luthor has wronged them so far. It seems to be neat too. They seem to be kind of very, very powerful and very, very influential as well. They're kind of pulling the strings behind the scenes. So neat to see where that goes as well. And like I said, for the first time in a long time, I'm following and interested in a Superman series. Also this week was that new Superboy series, issue 1 that come out, but we were able to review that last week, so I didn't skip that. If anyone's wondering why it wasn't in this week's episode, just check last week's, it was in there, and that's a good book too. So DC has been putting out some awesome new books, and even just their regular books, the Batman titles and that have been quite awesome lately. So good on them. From Dynamite, we have issue 4 of the Darkwing Duck series. This and that reboot of the Gargoyle series I've been enjoying a lot of. These Darkwing Duck episodes, or sorry, these issues are just like episodes of the old cartoon, kind of one and done stuff. A little bit of underlying, I guess, thread through all these. All the bad guys seem to kind of seem to be working with this one boss that they kind of hint at but don't reveal. So maybe it's gonna be like a Sinister Six type of thing for Darkwing Duck, which will be kind of cool. But again, here we have Darkwing Duck here by Dybert and L'Oreal doing the art. I like the art in here because it is very cartoon-like, but very sharp as well. And again, here you got the return of Bushroot, so that kind of swamp thing or poison ivy type of character. Controls plants and vegetation. He's back over trying to overthrow the city, and Drake Mallard, who has retired his Darkwing Duck persona, is forced to make the choice to either try and save him in his civilian identity or bring Darkwing Duck out of retirement. So lots of fun in here. Definitely great for all ages. All right, now for some Marvel books here. We have Warlock Rebirth from the two Rons. You got Ron Mars and Ron Lim here on art. Great art in here. Ron Lim has always been a great artist. This is another one of those 90s throwbacks or rebirth. This one takes up or kind of picks up or jumps off from that Silver Surfer one that was out recently. This is you have Genius Marvel there in the background. He's the son of the original Captain Marvel. He's come to Earth to find out more about his father and that, from Adam Warlock and the people that he's worked with. And he kind of comes there and he ends up on Dinosaur Island, where that's where the Infinity Watch kind of base out of. And Adam Warlock is as soon as that shows up, Adam Warlock seems to be sick and he falls weakened to the ground, and his teammates find him. And it's because this other energy cocoon has shown up, much like the same cocoon that Adam Warlock himself came from many years ago, and seems to be draining his power, and it just kind of hatch or open up in that, and a new Warlock comes out. It's Eve Warlock, and she's tells him that she's the superior to him. She's better and faster, and there to replace him because he's a failure and easily wipes them all out. So we'll see where it goes from there. If you're not a Warlock fan or aficionado already and don't know the history, this is kind of a good jumping off spot. They do a bit of a fast recap to the long and varied history of Adam Warlock, because he has gone through a lot of stuff, being a part of the Infinity Gems and all that Thanos stuff and that. So don't let that scare you off, because this will get you caught up to date. And like I said, for all that 90s stuff that Marvel has been kind of putting out lately, going back to a lot of the popular runs, like I said, the Silver Surfer, Ghost Rider stuff, the Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk stuff, and Wolverine stuff. So who knows what else they'll put out next, but this has been another good one. All right, we got two books next coming out of the Spider-Man universe and that dark web Hallows Eve type of thing that was going on over the summertime here. We have issue 2 from Hallows Eve. We got Schultz and Dowland on the art here. Really like the art in here. It's super clean and colorful, but dark in the places where it needs to be, much like you see on this cover here. Jane Good there, she is Halloween or Hallows Eve. This character who has been kind of given these powers, where she has this bag of masks that are from Limbo, these Halloween masks, and when she puts these masks on, it kind of gives them like the powers of whatever these masks are. So in the first issue, she put on this Wolfman mask and it made her like a werewolf. So she had these powers for that, and during that encounter, she bit this cop, and now apparently he's become a werewolf too. So she didn't know that was going to happen, so she feels responsible for this because now it's causing all these other issues. Um, this company that has known her beforehand is now also looking for this werewolf because they're interested in kind of like the DNA and the gene splicing ideas and stuff. And she feels responsible for this and feels like she has to clean it up. So I am enjoying this so far. I didn't think I would. I thought it would just kind of be one of those kind of not worthless but not very interesting or worthwhile reads after that. But this character has been developed pretty good so far. I'm kind of enjoying it, and I'm hoping it stays as well. Much like this next book, we got the Red Goblin #3. Um, this has been awesome as well too, and again I was a little bit hesitant because again this is just another goblin and another symbiote character. Red Goblin is Normie Osborn, the grandson of Norman Osborn, the original Goblin. The Red Goblin is kind of like a combination of Green Goblin and Carnage, and because that's what happened at one point, the Carnage symbiote had bonded with Norman Osborn and become this Red Goblin, but it's been transferred now into his son, or sorry, his grandson Normie, and that's what's going on here. This character, I guess the symbiote there, it goes by the name Rascal. It's kind of like a pet to Normie, but it's also kind of like Venom and the symbiote there too. So in this episode, or this issue I should say, he meets up against with the Goblin King, which was Ben Urich when he used to be the Green Goblin, but he's gone through quite a bit since then. He's all dying and kind of rotting in that, and he's willing to take out anything Goblin related. So he's come across Normie, and now they're going at it. So again, much like that Hallows Eve series, I've enjoyed this so far. I didn't have much for expectations wise, but it's proven me wrong, and that's great. I do like that. And that Inlock cover there is pretty great too. So hopefully that holds up and keeps going and doesn't just kind of crap out right away. Alright, also from Marvel this week we have Avengers Assemble Omega. This is a giant size book. This is the end of the 5-year run that Jason Aaron has had on Avengers, where he's taken and created these cosmic Avengers teams and these Avengers teams from like 1,000,000 AD or BC and that. It's all kind of cultivated to the end here. It's good now that from this there'll be a new Avengers series starting up in a month or so with a new team in that. So everything kind of gets all wrapped up here. No spoilers, for I don't want to tell anybody that. But this is a good book with lots of great art in there. Yeah, so if anyone's been reading the Avengers or any of the Avengers related stuff in the last couple of years, check it out because this is the explosive conclusion to it all. Last book from Marvel this week again is the Amazing Spider-Man 24. This book again kind of jumps back in time a little bit, explains how and why Norman and Peter Parker are working together, especially with designing these new technology and these new Spider-Man suits. It seems like it's they are working together to help Mary Jane, who seems to got kind of transported into some other timeline or dimension. Peter uses a seat to get there in that, but I guess when he gets there, some time has passed, and now she has these children and this husband in that. So we've seen these people pop up already in the run, but we didn't know how in that, so this starts to introduce that. Not sure how I feel about this yet, because again, it's still kind of jumping around in time, so you're a little confused and not really sure what's going on in that, but we'll see where it goes. I haven't been too disappointed in this current run, but hopefully this will kind of tie everything together because I know that's been a lot of the criticism about this new series so far, is that it's people don't understand what's going on in that. So hopefully this will kind of tie it all together nicely. And our last book this evening from Mad Cave, we have Hunt, Kill, Repeat, issue #2. By London and Arca Panazio doing the art there. Really like the art in here. Lots of sharp lines, lots of fine ink work, which I mentioned a few times on here I'm a fan of. Some great coloring in that. This is a cool story. Kind of, I've seen it described as Kill Bill versus, or meets Clash of the Titans. And it is kind of very, very active or very accurate description. You have the main character on the cover there, the god Artemis. She's been living on Earth for a few years after the gods decide to let themselves be known back on Earth and kind of influence their wills back down there. So humankind was worshiping these gods again, and she decided to kind of live amongst them again. And after a few years of this, Zeus got tired of her doing that and wasn't approval of what she was doing in that, and ends up killing her husband and her soon-to-be child that she's pregnant with, and so um, not killed her too, but during all this caused her to be in coma for 10 years. She wakes up after these 10 years and she gets help escaping from some other gods and that, and now they're all going to plot to take down Zeus and her siblings who do whatever he says in that. And she's also being hunched down at the same time. So lots of great action in here. Like I said, it does have that kind of Kill Bill feel to it. Yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot, and I really hope this gets picked up or turned into a streaming or a movie property of sorts, because it will be awesome. Alright, everybody, so like I did say, this was a faster week for books and that. Still a fun week, though. Yeah, check out anything that you like there, as I said. Let me know in the comments below if you can tell me what homage that cover is for the Mighty Barbarians, because the first person to do so on Facebook and the first person to do so on YouTube will get a copy of this Dancing with Woody from our friend David Howell. If you are in Winnipeg on Friday night, do come to the wrestling event from Primo's there. Writing's on the wall. Like I said, do check out later today on the post for another video about that. We will also have the FOC video up later today, so what we think are some interesting books for the FOC coming out on for again May 17th and the 24th there. Other than that, see you Saturday night perhaps for tags. We got the tags show with artists coming on. They did the Masters of the Universe one last week. We had Things Getting Dicey going on Monday, so that was a lot of fun there too. Managed to survive another episode of that without dying, so good on me. Other than that, I will see you guys all later on. Enjoy the rest of your, hopefully you have a good weekend, and stay safe.